I would like to start today's chat with asking you folks to take a second and reflect on something that you would like to change in your life. Maybe you have something on the top of your mind that you know you need to change, but for whatever reason, you haven't yet. Or maybe you need to take a second and reflect on why you feel like you're stuck in the position that you're at. Because guess what? If you've clicked on this video, clearly you must be thinking that you need a change of some sort. If you need to, pause the video and write that on a piece of paper right now and come back to the chat. If you wrote it down on a piece of paper, guess what? You've taken the first step of action that you need to achieve that goal or change that thing in your life. And that's what today's discussion is going to be all about. Taking those action steps to achieve the goals and changes that we want to make in our life, and not waiting for the Monday or the next year or the New Year's resolution to come around to make those changes happen. It's about taking action today towards making those changes right now. Because guess what? Your future self isn't going to be mad at you for taking action right now. It's actually going to be extremely thankful that you did that for yourself and for them in the future and your future family members, friends, towards making the version of yourself that you're going to be proud of and happy with. And I know that on a personal level, that by taking action when I did, I'm so thankful at this point in time that I took the action when I did. Otherwise, who knows where I would have been. So as many of you will know, I was well over 300 pounds in my early 20s, and if I didn't take the action to start making the weight loss changes at that point, I would likely have been featured on some TLC show at this point in my life. I'm 29 now, so 8 years of eating out of control, yeah, it would have been bad. And I knew that I needed to lose weight for the longest time, but again, I would get in these loops of, oh, I'll start Monday, or I'll start Thursday, or I'll start in the new year. And sure, I would start towards making changes on those days, and sometimes it would work for a period of time, but it always failed. And I think by allowing my brain to have that break of, oh, you're going to start Monday, or you're going to start in a couple of weeks' times in the new year, everyone's making changes in the new year, it switches your brain to, okay, I'm going to make those changes at that point. So right now, I'm going to continue making these bad choices. And actually, I'm going to probably be worse because, well, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm not going to be able to have that cake or have that McDonald's. So let's just go binge eating and binge drinking, whatever the case may be, because in that time frame, you're not going to be able to do that. But guess what? The time comes around. And do you make those changes? You might for a couple of weeks. But is it sustainable? Because when you go and completely cut everything out, you're going to go through massive withdrawal. And making those massive changes all at once is very, very difficult. And that's something that took me a long time to understand. I would go through these massive crash diets, trying all these fad diets, and none of them stuck. Sure, I lost a bit of weight. I felt a bit better about myself. I got a bit more fit, but that did not matter. When the time came around and I needed to lose weight when I was at that 300-pound mark, it took me taking action that day and making the small changes in actions and sustainable approaches in order to make them work and stick. But that was the biggest difference between all those times before. I did not allow my brain to have any type of break. It was one day I was eating bad and having all these bad habits, then the next day, boom. You're making changes towards a better life and reaching the goals that you deserve, because you deserve to feel happy and proud about yourself. And it's taking these small actions over time and having consistency that you're going to be able to achieve those goals. And when honestly, how bad do you feel when you say you're going to do something and you don't follow through with it? Or you tell someone that you're going to go on a diet at this point in time, and then that point in time comes and a few months past that comes along and someone asks, hey, how's that diet going? You're gonna feel pretty bad, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be a diet. It could possibly be something to do with your career, or something academically, or intellectually, or sports-wise, or fitness, anything. Anything that you want to achieve, you need to start taking action now, and you can't give your brain the option to allow it to think that you're going to start in the future, because when your brain thinks that it has a window of time to just relax and regress and go crazy, it's going to either stay the same or it's going to regress and think, I need to do this all so crazy right now because in a couple of weeks time, my human is going to cut everything completely off. So let's send all these hormones and hunger signals and all these different crazy signs down to this human to just go crazy, essentially. That's my personal takeaway anyway from all this stuff, is that when I allow my brain to have some sort of excuse, it's gonna take it. The brain is so good at making excuses when it needs to do hard things. Because you know what? Making changes is gonna be hard. But the best thing about that hardness is that it's gonna allow you to grow and change. Without any type of friction, you're not going to make any change. And that's just the God's honest truth. You need friction to allow your brain to change and do all this stuff. Like Andrew Huberman talks about this stuff quite a bit, and he's an actual neuroscientist. I am just a software engineer, so I understand ones and zeros, and he understands a lot more than me when it comes to this stuff. And that is, you need friction in order for your brain to change and mold to allow you to learn those things and adapt to it. And as you adapt, you grow and become the better version of yourself. The brain's a remarkable thing. You're never too old to stop learning and changing and doing the new habits, so just take the action steps now to make that happen, and I promise your future self is going to be extremely thankful for that. And I know this video is coming at an interesting time. It's just before Christmas. We're all about to go on Christmas break and start eating all these amazing things like eggnog and cookies and sugar cookies and cakes and turkey dinners and going crazy, drinking and all that stuff, having a great time, which is wonderful. Enjoy the holiday season with your family. But this brings me to another point, is that you can start making those action choices right now and not allow those days where you're going to be eating poorly or having a couple of treats to set you back on a major way. Prior to the massive lifestyle shift that I had, if I had a stretch of time where I figured, well, I'm going to be having to eat poorly here and there, and I ate bad there, so what does it really matter? I'm just going to not worry about it for the next couple of weeks and just go crazy. That's not how it should or has to be, I promise you that. You can allow yourself to have that type of flexibility, but if you're just getting started, it is going to be much more difficult, obviously. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I still have to sort of figure out a way to navigate through these challenging times of, okay, how am I not going to just allow myself to binge eat, because I still suffer with that every day of wanting to binge eat all these sweets, especially. That's still ingrained within me. Don't allow the amazing holiday season coming up prevent you from taking action steps right now. Take the action steps now and enjoy the holiday season, but still take the action during those times, because especially now, if you can get through this and still continue to take action towards that positive changes, you are going to be massively successful in the new year. And you know what? You're going to get a head start on everyone else if you do that right now. So start taking that action today. Whatever you wrote down on that piece of paper, that was step one. Now start implementing those changes towards that goal and changing your lifestyle right now. Another good thing to do is that I know the brain's a funny thing, and you might be watching this in the evening or whatever, and you might be getting fired up to make those changes, but you're about to go to bed. How about you write down a couple of things that will allow you to achieve your goal? What are, like, for example, if your goal is to run a 5K, write down what are some action steps that you're going to need to take in order to run that 5K. You're going to need to sign up for a race, find a race. You're going to need to find some sort of training plan, and you're going to need to, I don't know, if you don't have running shoes, go buy running shoes. Just write down a couple of things that you need in order to achieve that goal, and that's another action step that you can feel good about. And then tomorrow, once you get up and get refreshed and do your thing, start taking actual physical action towards that goal. Let me know what you think. Are you going to start taking action today, or do you feel that setting that goal of I'm going to start on a Monday or in the New Year's works best for you? And that could be completely fine. This is just my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think about this stuff as well. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and if you know someone that could benefit from this type of content, share the video with them. It would mean a lot. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.